Hey, it's Saturday, June 16th, 2018. We're here in West Los Angeles. I'm John Knox, and I'm with Richard Rhodes, and we've just been getting the basic information about the Chris Haskell story in Tucson. And Richard, what's your initial take on what's happened to Chris?
Well, Chris Haskell was the biggest activist I can actually think of in the world when it came to geoengineering and chemtrails. Nobody was more in your face than Chris Haskell. This guy put out 10,000 signs over a 10-year period all over Tucson, Arizona. And everybody in the whole town knows about chemtrails because of Chris Haskell. The guy has been putting out these signs, and he even leaves them out in the alley for other people to put them out. And lo and behold, the cops have made him an example. They have thrown the book at this guy, and it's all bogus charges over some white powder attached to a sign. With supposedly it was an inert powder that had nothing, no chemicals in it. It was like silica, basically.
So I got a quick question for you. If the cops come up with these charges, what does that say to you about how they're looking at what Chris is doing?
What he's doing was so effective that they had to think of a way to shut him down, and boy did they shut this guy down. And it's just tragic. They've destroyed his life. They beat him to within an inch of his life. Literally, the guy almost died.
Yeah.
They sent out, I don't know, like 26 different vehicles. They had the NSA, the CIA, the FBI there. They had tanks that came to his house. And this is a guy who all he does is put out signs that say stop geoengineering and stop chemtrailing.
Yeah.
And he must have really hit a nerve in Arizona.
Now that's the one thing I want to cover here. So many of us are playing detective in a way of repeating the story as we've heard it. What we say here may be slightly different than what truly happened, but the essence is true. All right. So what do you think we as the activist community should do about this?
Step up our efforts. We should actually do what he was doing, because if there's 10,000 of us putting out signs, it will only amplify what's going on, and more people will become aware. And if people become aware of what happened to Chris Haskell, they'll bring this thing right to the forefront. And I'm telling you, the news, nobody wants to talk about what's going on. They don't want to tell you what's happening. They don't talk about Chris Haskell. But if you listen to the Chris Haskell story, you'll understand what this guy was doing and why they wanted to shut him down, because he was so effective at letting people know they're spraying stuff in our atmosphere and we do not approve. Nobody asked us if they could spray stuff on us. And well, if you don't know what's being sprayed on you, it's like taking a vaccine that you don't know what's in it. Don't do it. And don't breathe the air if you don't know what's in the air.
I wish I could do that. It's one of the reasons I'm an anti-geoengineering activist. You know, water I can avoid, food I can avoid, get the good clear stuff, but I can't avoid what's in the air. So here's what we'd like to say. We're at the beginning of the Chris Haskell Dawn for Us tour. We're going to be going around to local activists in the SoCal area and also Arizona and giving presentations on what happened to Chris, because we're all Chris Haskell. No matter what your issue is, if the state can get away with putting away an activist who did everything legally, then they're going to be coming after the rest of us later on. So thanks, Richard. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Good stuff.
Keep up the work.
So it's
and God bless Chris Haskell.
Yep. It's Saturday, June 7th. I have to look at my watch because I can't remember. Saturday, June 17th, 2018, West Los Angeles. I'm with Richard Rhodes, and we're at the beginning of the Chris Haskell Dawn for Us tour. And we're going to make sure that June 30th or July 30th, when that case starts, everybody's watching what happens in Tucson.
And you know what? If you can, donate money to his legal case. We'll tell you how to do it at the end of this video. But he really does need help. This guy is in a tremendous world of hurt.
Yes.
All because of bogus charges and bogus cops.
Yes. Outstanding, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
And thank you, John Graff.
You're welcome.
Cultivate your common sense and stay curious.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.